we're going to create a new HTML page, and so you need to create a text box. So I've created a text box. Okay, and I need a radio button to say green, blue, yellow, red. Is that, yeah? To create a radio button, you have to do an input type is equal to radio, ID is equal to, I'm just going to give the ID as text color. Is that okay? Yeah. Now at the moment I've called all of them as text color. Is that right? All of them have got the same IDs except my text box. Is that yeah? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this slightly slow. I've changed the IDs. Is that okay? And I'll come back to the reason why I want the same ID.
You skipped one, the green one as in color.
No, it's just text color,
Right,
and then 1, 2, and 3. Is that right? Let me just save this as. Okay, you.
consistency.
1, 2, 3, and then 4.
Now you put it 12.
You got 12 on the second one.
Text color 12.
Yeah, so save. Text box color. What I want to show you is just the reason for that is because you've not done much of the input boxes in HTML. You've only done a brief form creation with the help of Dreamweaver. So I'm just doing this so that you can actually see the actual boxes. This is what it gets. So you have text boxes, and now if I have different IDs, then what happens is each one of them is clickable. Right? If they have different IDs, that means they represent different things. Right? So if you think they represent the same thing, then they should have the same ID. Yeah? So this is the reason that in the code, initially I just said that I've given them individual IDs. If I change them, here, just going to call them the same name, right? And save, and I go back on my form here, refresh it. Now if I click, my page now saved.
Is it because they should be all grouped together?
No, this is how you group them. You just give them the same name. That's all. 1 minute, let me just give a name as well. Sometimes it just does not work without the name. I did not give them the names. Okay. And I have not given them a value. 1 minute. I need to do one more thing before I can actually shoot you that. I need to give value. You will not see the value, but everything should have a value. Green. Value. Because if it's a property, then and here value is equal to So only one of them should be clickable. And when I say green, the value should be green, right? And this is the reason that in text boxes, what you type is the value, but in radio buttons you have to give values yourself, right? Because this is written outside, it is not part of the box, so the computer doesn't know what value. That's just something visually you're looking at. So you have to give your values yourself when you're creating those boxes. Yeah. One more thing, if I change this text box in my code to, yeah, type is equal to password, yeah, so it doesn't show the characters. So the text is there, but whatever you are writing down will not show up on the screen because the type is password. Is that okay? But just that it doesn't show on the screen, otherwise if people know how to read the text, they will be able, value will give me the value, right? So pass, and there is one more funny type of a variable type, which is hidden, yeah, which we use in most of the cases. It's gone. It's not there, but the box is there. Doesn't make sense.
What use does that have?
You know, if you are creating predefined forms, like let's say there are 2 entry points into your website, both of them say login, but I want to know people are coming from which page, just to know how are they coming into. So you can create a hidden thing and leave some value in it to find out. So the person who's created this page would know that there is a box here which should have some value. Yes, we do that a lot when we are connecting with databases. We do a lot of that. You know, like
Is that what the data analytics is that tricks they do for that? Or?
yeah, we can use that in for a number of things. You know, like whatever forms we've created, we want to would create something on our page to differentiate some kind of information coming to our page. Like remember we were doing in the databases, we did that you click on a title but ID goes. Remember, like ID goes in a hyperlink. But I don't want to show that ID on the screen anywhere. If it was a form you are submitting, you don't want to see that ID. You put that ID in a text box somewhere on the page. It will go to the next page. It will go to the server, but the user doesn't see it. So there are a number of reasons we use that, but it is very much used in the coding. But those are types which exist. The whole idea is that you are aware of that these types of text boxes exist. Yeah. So I'm going to go back to text. So now we have the text box. Yeah. Now what I want is that when I click on green, the color of this, whatever I'm writing down in this text box, changes to green. Is that right? Yeah. If I click on blue, the color of this changes to blue. If I change here, the color changes accordingly. Is that right? Yeah. So let's put some initial value to the text box. We just can put some value to test here. Right. Yeah. I want on click of this, change color. Is that right? And I'm going to call the same function in all of them. Is that okay? So save, and I'm going to make a new file, and I'm going to create a function, change color. Is that okay? Whose color are we changing?
Text box.
Text box. So document dot get element by ID text1 dot color. Is that right? And this color. Now, does a text box has a property called as color?
Yeah.
Do we? Have we anywhere in this box written a property called as color? And it does not have. If I write down color here, will it work? No, right? But if I write down style equals color, it will work. Is that right? Yeah. So if I write this, I should get the color I'm expecting. Yeah. So if this is possible, then that means in this code also, I can't write down dot get element by ID text one color. I can't write that, but I can write down style. That's possible, right? And then dot color. So within style, within color, you want to change the color. And what should the color change to?
To one of the ones that
Green.
So I don't know which, whenever that change color is called, that is called on a click of the radio button, right? And the radio button has a value, right? And all of them are called the same name, right? So what we need to do is document dot get. So if I just, I'm going to write it down in a simpler word. Text color dot value. Is that right? That's the radio button. And I want its value. And you know that I only can select one at a time. So whatever would be the value is actually the type of the color. Is that right? No? Not understood. Okay. Let's leave this line for a time being, and I'm going to just say alert, and I'm going to say text color dot value. Is that okay? Just this much. Alert text color dot value. Is that right? And let's call it text change. That file is also called change. Script source. Change color. Is that okay? So save and yeah. When I click on green, the function gets called. When it says it's not found that, right? Not every time the alert message is saying, but it is saying undefined. Yeah. Let's go and pick up why it is saying undefined. ID is
Were you
text.
expecting the green, blue, and so on?
Yeah, I was expecting because I've set green the values. So
Is it because the code is the same? Did you have, no, you've got different colors in different values.
okay. You can see this, right? It's giving me green on all of them, right? One more thing. Let's change this code slightly, and I'm not putting this on click change color here. Just let's call this on click here. Is that right? So I'm just taking this on click out of this.
So now it's in the text box as opposed to the buttons.
It's on the text box, yes, right? Just on the text box. Just to show you the difference, that's all. I mean, you need to see this really well too. What have I done? Why is green gone away? Holes? Yeah. 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 Yeah? Nothing happens? Yeah? Why? Because I don't have a on-click property for text box. I did not write on-click. Does that make sense? I did not. I just deleted the on-click. Change color. I did not write that here. So I
I
just
think
took
you
it.
did and then you took it out.
Sorry?
You did and then you erased it.
Yeah, because I was changing the code. I should have, but I went to run the code without it. Does that make sense? Green, right? Now if I click here, go back here. It's not changing the value for me at all. So, and did I say anywhere that it has to be green? I changed value for all of them. Boxes, the name is same, but it's just not changing the, picking up the actual value for me. The radio button is working fine because when I make it work here, it only does one, but it is not changing the value for me. I go blue, it's not doing that. Every time it just gives me green. Any reason?
Let's see your function.
Is it green because green is default, the first one?
Yeah.
Just show that on click same color on the green.
The style.
It will change, but what I'm trying to say is, if I say change color, I just did not have that line. It will change the color. If I run this line, it should change the color, right?
Yeah.
Just have to write it down like that.
And then change it to green currently in one of them.
Right? It will, if I write this line, changes the color, right? But how will it now change to blue?
How does it change the green to blue?
Sorry? How does that change from green to blue?
Add some function.
Add a
Add function to other blue, other value.
Oh, so you want me to write down a different function for, I can do that. That will be the easiest option to say that I can actually just go here.
Also correct.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, then, but then, okay, this is not working because it does not have a form tag. Radio buttons are meant to by default work on form tag.
Like
A form.
contained within a-
No, a form tag, right?
oh,
But because I don't have a form, the radio button is not acting the way it should be. Do you understand that? Otherwise, text color should actually pick up the value you've written down. So when you click it, it picks up the value, but it is not picking up because it's not inside the form. So what I'm trying to say is that there are certain anomalies in JavaScript that this is the expected behavior, it is not working. Does that make sense?
so if you had form and
If you have, but then form action has to go to another page, which I'm not. I can keep it to the same page, but then I'm reloading my page, which I don't want to do. Does that make sense? I do not have a form. I don't need a form,
Yeah.
right? I don't need the form tag. So what we need to, what is a workaround? Imagine this value, so that means this really is not needed. Is that right? But look, let's see what happens if I take the value out.
Oh, we can flip up.
Sorry? Let's take the value out. They have the same name, right? They still have the same name. But I've taken the value option out. Is that okay? And do the same, they work fine. Right? It works fine. And this will, nothing is there. Just means on. Yeah? So that means in my code, there was no need for me to go and write down a value because until unless I have a form tag, this has got no value. Do you understand? But I know on click of this, I want the color to change to this. Is that right? So what I need to do is you write down this. I'm going to move it back where it was. On click, change color. And here, can I write down green myself?
Yeah.
Right? In here, I can write down blue. But I'm writing down this in inverted commas because it is a text, right?
Yeah.
In here, again,
Yellow.
whichever color you want.
But you don't want it to be a text.
It has to be a text. There's no other way to pass a value to, right?
So are you,
But now, sorry. Go on.
are you going to then convert it in
Yes, I'm going to convert this into this is from here, it will go as a text. But when you save it, when you send it here, in my change color, I'm not receiving it. Can you? So I need to receive it, right? And that can be called anything. Is that right?
Yes.
I've called it color name. So here, all I have to do is I don't need all this. I just need don't even need this line. Document dot this text one dot style dot color name. Just whatever color it is. So whatever color you send me. If you said red, it will be red. If you say green, it will be green. If you say blue, it will be blue. Whatever you've told. Save. Yeah.
And if you had sort of multiple parameters, it's comma.
If you want to put font size, you should know in what order have you sent them. But person can choose. Now it's up to you. I've done this on click, right? You can write down 3 things here: color, background color, highlighter, background color, and then font size, whatever, and then hit the button change.
So for this, we'd be using basically the same formula you just written there.
Yes.
But changing, say, text color to foreground color. Whatever.
This is foreground color,
Yeah, let's say, right,
the background color.
the
Yeah,
background
so-
color. Just style it dot background.
yeah,
Again, we write down that previous one.
What? What? Sorry, say again.
So sorry, just the code that you've done to make it usable.
Yeah. I want you to do that. Yeah.
So the background color and foreground color, just
This is just color. Dot background will be background color.
the color by default is
Text color. Yeah,
text
foreground
color,
color.
foreground color.
dot
And
text
foreground color is what you're seeing in the text box. The background color would be the
Background. The
font.
word background.
Yeah, you'd put background, and that would be the
Background.
actual layout would all change.
Depends on, in your code there's slight trick. You have a div there. So you're changing the color for a div. But you're just changing div color and background only. Yeah, but that is it. That's what you're gonna be doing. That's your boxes. But what I'm trying to say is that it's up to you how do you create variety in that. Does that make sense? It's up to you how do you implement it and how do you show it to me that this is what you've done. Let Let me just stop the recording. I don't want the recording to continue.